Winnipeg police investigating another shooting. Police duty inspector telling Global News that 2 men and a woman were shot just after 1 o'clock yesterday morning. Inside or outside, we have not been able to determine which, the Spades Lounge and Nightclub. That's located at 575 Portage Avenue. The woman has since been released from hospital, while the 2 men are listed in stable condition with gunshot wounds. No arrests have been made. Police are asking anyone with information on this case is to contact the Major Crimes Unit. And this is just the latest in a number of gun incidents in Winnipeg this summer. On the line with us now is Kevin Klein. He is the Winnipeg City Councillor for Charleswood, Tuxedo, Westwood. He's also the former chair of the Winnipeg Police Board. Good morning, Councillor.
Good morning, Clay. How are you?
Very well, sir. So I come to work very early. Yesterday morning, I'm coming down Portage Avenue. I did see the police vehicles outside of that nightclub, but no information was being released at the time. But I did speak with a police spokesperson last night, and he confirmed 3 people had been shot, 2 men and a woman. But in your opinion, in your view, how do we get these guns off the streets?
Well, you know, Clay, we have to start focusing on this because the news of all the crime and shootings is hurting our city. And the last several months, and especially the last several weeks, all we've been doing is criticizing the police. We've been questioning them. We've been questioning their integrity. Nobody is focusing on the problem at hand. The guns are illegal. So first and foremost, just because if you make handguns illegal, that doesn't mean the bad guys will not have guns because they have them illegally now. We really have to say enough is enough with these gangs and focus on them and do another clean sweep. You may remember we did that in Winnipeg many, many years ago. We need to have a concentrated effort and focus on these gangs.
You know, just listening to you there, it reminded me that earlier this year, one of your colleagues, Councillor Sherry Rowlands, called on Ottawa to allow municipalities to restrict or ban handguns. And then there was response from police who said, well, you could ban them, but that, like you just pointed out, that doesn't mean the bad guys are all of a sudden going to stop using them.
That's why they're bad guys.
Right.
You know, they break the law, and they're easily obtained now, whether they're coming across the border. We know that between Thunder Bay and Winnipeg is a highway where a lot of gun trade has been happening. We need, obviously, more resources from the federal level, the RCMP, the OPP, and such to focus on that trade. But they're also now making guns. And, I mean, if we don't focus on the gangs, we need to focus on the gangs. And that's what our police need to do. The province needs to keep them in jail because what's happening is they're getting out so quick. And everyone's always saying you can't arrest your way out of a problem. I agree. But we cannot fix the problem by rearresting people every few months, every few weeks. Let's keep the bad guys and the ones that we know are causing the problems in jail. And the province should then be focusing on the other issues of treatment and housing. But more importantly, you know, I talked to Professor Gino D'Stasio from the University of Winnipeg. And right now, we have a lot of kids in at-risk neighborhoods that we don't pay attention to. We don't have any programming for them. The province doesn't have any programming for them. So when they have nothing to do, and when they're looking for friends, guess who picks them up? So let's get those people, the gangs, off the street. Let's get kids something to do again and end this cycle before we, you know, we're called the Detroit of Canada. It's getting out of hand, and it's going to hurt us. Who's going to want to move here? Who's going to want to open a business when crime continues to rise?
Yeah, and yesterday we ran some clips of just Winnipeggers, citizens, and I just asked them out in the street, what do you think are the solutions, or what do you think is the cause? And let's see, drug addiction, a lot of them pointed to meth, a lot of them pointed to gangs, and how they attract young people, because the young people don't have anything to do, especially in the inner city area, because they're lacking recreational facilities. So I think you touched on those big three right there.
Well, it's nice to know. I mean, I'm watching it, and we're living it every day, and it's so disheartening because kids don't, grow up wanting to be bad guys, and the guns and the violence. You think that's the drug sales part of it. There's a couple of gangs that are very big in the city and trying to make themselves stronger. We need to show them that they're not welcome here, and that we will do what we have to take them out of our city, get them out of our city. The province has to deal with them through the court system, but let's help these kids so that they run out of people to join their gang. They run out of people to use. They're using kids to sell drugs. They're using kids to do this for them because kids will get a lesser sentence, or they won't get a sentence. We've got to stop it right there. We have to, and that's what Gino D'Estasio told me, right? You have to go after the bad guys. You've got to go get them, and then focus on the kids to make sure that they never have the opportunity to go into that life because they don't want to.
Councillor, I have to leave it there for the sports, but thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Well, I appreciate you having the conversation. I think it's one we have to start having more in our city and stop ignoring it.
All right. Kevin Klein, City Councilor for the Charleswood, Tuxedo, and Westwood Ward. It's 8:23.